Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help master your mindset and maximize your money. And today, my loves, we're going to talk about money, okay, and how we're going to maximize it. Because today we're talking about Jermaine Dupri, who recently revealed that he spent $10,000 every Monday for 20 years at Magic City, the famous strip club in Atlanta. Now, this is a very shocking admission, and it opens up a larger conversation about the lavish spending culture in hip hop and in our entertainment industry, and also in our sports industry. So this shows the role of money in shaping the image of success. So what does this say about the ways in which wealth is flaunted, and what kind of financial lessons can we learn from this behavior? Should we be spending like this or prioritizing financial responsibility? Because we deal with money on this podcast, and we want you to thrive. Now, listen, I don't know about y'all, but when I got the topic for today, I was having coffee and I literally almost spit it out. $10,000 every Monday for 20 years. I should have done the math, because I'm telling y'all right now, $10,000 already is crazy, but for 20 years every week, it blew my mind. So when you first heard about this, Minister Connie, did it shock you?
Yes, very much. The thing is, I did the math a little bit. That's $4,800,000. That's a lot of money over that 20 years. But the Bible says a fool and his money shall soon depart. So don't be foolish with your money.
I think you might be a little under. I think it's like 10.4 million.
Was okay.
20
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
For 20 years. So yeah, no, your number was already crazy. Like our producer did the numbers in the back, and I saw 10 and I about passed out, because people play lottery trying to do that too. What about you, Yolanda? When you first heard this, did this actually shock you?
Nope, it did not.
No.
Because I've seen over the years how many of our celebrities end up broke. So this did not shock me. And now we're seeing through the internet what they're spending their money on. Bull crap.
Exactly. And you see it from the insurance side, and I see it from the real estate side.
Yeah, we're gonna get
I've had so many people, especially in Denver. I dealt with a lot of Bronco players. They would come in and they wouldn't even buy because they didn't have the money. Their credit was shot. So what are we saying when we're honoring and putting these people on a platform for what they have, when in reality, it's all just a mask? How do we, be able to encourage our young boys and girls, hey, this is actually a good thing to strive for, as well as, getting an education. But then you have people who just really are not dealing with money at all. Now, we've had a couple of comments already. I'm telling you, y'all, everybody's as shocked as we are too. Incox says, actually, not shocking at all. Jermaine is a Libra man ruled by Venus. He will prioritize sensual pleasures over anything else. Go figure. Maria did the calculations. Marcellus did the calculations. C. White says happy Friday. And then Taki, if I said that right, if I didn't, please just know that is error of the mind, not the heart. Imagine $500,000 Black kids growing up poor in inner cities looking up to him and these other rappers. Fat Joe and whoever else was shameful for glossing that over. I think that's a pretty powerful statement, and I agree. But let's dive into it with our first video, because we ain't just telling you this is some gossip thing. This literally was told by his own mouth. Let's check it out.
Where we at right now? It's a new.
I gotta ask you a question though. Jada hates this, but I'm giving it to you. Top 5 dances of all time in Magic City.
White chocolate at the top.
White chocolate. I gotta write these down because I gotta Google these people.
Well, she in the documentary. All these people, they all in the documentary.
Right.
Yeah, they all in the
All right,
documentary.
let me get 4
I don't know
more.
if I can top 5.
Too many. See, he always.
Man, it was a girl named Sugar. There was a girl named Sugar in there.
Yeah, Sugar. Oh, he talking about it's a girl
That
named
was
Sugar.
top 5 dead or alive, boy.
Yeah, Sugar. Sugar, yeah, Sugar around. She
I
don't
don't
dance
know.
no more.
I ain't.
Yeah,
You
she don't
know.
dance no more.
None of them shouldn't dance no more. They
No. Well, maybe,
No,
I don't know,
it's
maybe
Magic. Magic's had its time. Like it's just but white chocolate, I feel like is
Of all time.
is all time she's number one. She the one. All time.
So they done threw the most money at white chocolate ever.
Yeah.
Cause you know the
100%.
cribs was affordable. Them girls was probably buying acres of shit. No, I'm telling you the truth.
I know you are.
Like they was out there. This shit was.
I mean, I spent $10,000 every Monday for 20 years straight in
Nigga,
easy.
take the signs
something.
off now. It's just bow, bow,
Tell you
bow.
something. I made the song "Make It Rain."
Yeah.
I didn't go to the strip club for about 3 years till it got played out.
Until it got old.
No, they was killing me. Like every time I walk in, they be like, "Din-din." They'll play the Superman song. The lighter come on, man. Mr. Rain is here. I'm like, huh? And it was never enough because you made Make It Rain. They want you to keep
You gotta
growing
make
this
it
shit.
thunderstorm.
Yeah, you gotta make it.
I was like, yo, guess what? It's not good for me to go in the strip club because they putting major peer pressure on me.
But see, this is where you gotta walk. You gotta walk from the VIP section, and you gotta go holler at the DJ. You gotta get away.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can't stay in that light.
Yeah, it's a play. You can get stuck
So you
somewhere.
get
where
stuck in that
Magic
light
City had
where
that-
everybody watching you.
Magic City
you gotta
had
get
that
out that
second
fishbowl.
floor.
Huh? Nah, Magic ain't got no second floor.
No, it had a second
I
floor.
got some.
Oh, now they got a little step up.
That's where I met Jeezy for the first time. A
little step up.
yeah, that was as far. That's as low as you could go up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little step up.
I got so many things to say about that because let me just say this before we dive into this communication here. Even though we know that they are talking about massive money, they are still glorifying what they're doing with their money. There was no apology said in that, nothing at all. Now, Jermaine Dupri is also doing a documentary on strippers and strip clubs, so that's what he's talking about. But this whole conversation still is the good old boy network. We gonna do this. We throwing this money, and what kind of example is that setting? Because that's still the way they're conversating, where they're talking. It still don't to me sound like, you know what, that was really quite a smart move. You know, they're still playing into the game. And Deborah, I love Double A's comment. She said he could have bought the club for that much. Scratching my hair. So Yolanda, how does the hip hop industry's obsession with like flashy spending, like these guys are proud of it, impact the financial decisions of young artists today?
Oh my goodness. It really, oh goodness. Just looking at our forefathers of the hip hop industry. I'm talking about Snoop Dogg and all of them. You know, we saw videos of them in the club throwing money up, looking at Jermaine Dupri. Even Fat Joe was talking about the song that he made about throwing money up in the club. And so we look at the younger generation. I don't really see them in the club throwing up money, but I see them with stacks of cash, just like in a video, just like walking around with stacks of cash. They think that's so cool. We don't see them. Well, just imagine if Jermaine Dupri and them had said, "Oh, we saved this money and now we have X amount of money in our bank accounts." How would that have impacted the younger generation? You know what I'm saying? But no, you see that it passed down a legacy of just dumbness to the younger generation. There was nothing learned there. And let me tell you something, Lala. They are still glorifying the strippers. These strippers actually extracted generational wealth from them, and they are glorifying sugar and white chocolate. Telling, sugar and white chocolate probably are wealthy right now. They probably did something great with the money. They probably.
I ain't mad at them if they did.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, go in my head. I'm like, go girls. Like in my head, I'm like, I hope they really made the most out of that money that they gotten from these rappers. These rappers gave away their generational wealth to the strippers.
They did, but then let's look also a little bit at that too. While we may not be mad at these ladies who may be putting this money to good use for them, what does it tell young girls that, hey, I can probably do this too? I mean, we have so many deeply rooted things in this. It's not just the money, it's the culture, it's of what they feel is going to earn them the bag. Why go get an education or a trade when I know these rappers are going to go and throw all this money at me? There's so many deep-seated things here. Minister Connie, I really would like to hear your thoughts on if you really think that this kind of spending is a sign of wealth or insecurity in the hip-hop culture.
Who, me?
No, Mr. Connie.
Mr. Connie, okay.
I see it as foolishness. Generational wealth. We're supposed to leave a generation of wealth to our children, their children, and their children. So this spending here is just so foolish. And these young girls seeing it think that's the way to go because, you see a lot of young girls out there just shaking their booty and they're not even getting on a video or anything. So I think it's very foolish for someone to spend their money like that. And then I know they have to regret it because they're sitting around talking about the regrets. I could have done this or that. $10 million could have fed a lot of people, could educate, could have started a lot of people to go into a business. It could have been a lot of things that could have happened from that $10 million. It's just sinful, Some people don't never see that kind of money in their whole lifetime,
And just trying to even get $500 a month to pay any kind of little bill they have. That's what just kind of makes me sick. I feel like our whole country glorifies money above anything else. And what we see today is whoever can one up you in all aspects and the others don't count. I'm going to take a deep breath on that because I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm very conflicted about what we're talking about today. It disgusts me on so many levels, and I don't want to tell people what to do with their money. However, I see that this is a direct thing in our community that glorifies this type of living. And if we don't stop putting that up as idol, then we're never going to get out of the mess that we're in. We're here on this show to uplift. We got tools and everything else for you. But you see this and the kids gravitate toward that. So let's take a deep breath and take a short break. We'll be right back.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
I believe that's what we do here. That's what we do here. That we're trying to help you understand that what you see is not what you always get. And I do believe there's a song about that. Now, before we dig into the next video, I do want to ask you, Yolanda, because you see it in your industry, I see it in my industry. So it's Magic City, the strip club. It's an iconic symbol. So is it a symbol of wealth or a symbol of financial mismanagement for our culture?
Definitely for financial mismanagement, because week after week, Jermaine Dupri sat his ass in a strip club and donated $10,000. Imagine if he would have did that with Bitcoin. And then we're going back 20 years, okay, when Bitcoin was at its infancy. Imagine if he donated $10,000 a week to Bitcoin or something of that nature, or invested. I shouldn't say donate, but invested that in some type of investment. Imagine the money that Jermaine Dupri will be sitting on right now. It would be bananas. So yes, it is a financial trap, actually. Those strip clubs is well, for the women, maybe it's a financial come up, but for the men, it's a financial trap.
I think so too. And I'm sure all of these rappers and stuff have children. A lot of them have more than one. We have to think about what examples we're setting, as well as what are we going to leave them for their legacy. Now, I do have to throw 50 Cent up in here because, listen, he done said no to girls when it come to him money, and he done said no to his own son, who he no, I've given you such and such, now you've got to earn. So in that regard, I do have some respect for him. I still have other issues with 50 Cent. But, to me, I don't feel like he fell into that same trap. Now, CG said, and this got taken on to what you said, Yolanda, had that same 10 million been placed into an S&P 500 for 20 years, it will be well over 32 million today.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure Jermaine Dupri does not have $32 million right now sitting in his bank account. I doubt if he does. And let me tell you something, Lala, about these rappers and just about entertainers off the bat. I see them come in with a lot of money. And the entertainers I deal with, I always tell them, invest that money in an insurance policy. And they can't fathom, why would I do that? I said, if you're getting all this money, right, drop it in an insurance policy and just let it sit there. And I'm talking about specifically a life insurance policy. Let it just sit there so that when you go broke, you'll have a couple of $1 million that you can draw from that policy. Or if you die, your beneficiaries will be taken care of with that policy. So invest it in some type of vehicle. But I see a lot of entertainers also pass away. Just like I look at Black Rob, for instance, one of the hottest rappers at one point. He died penniless in a hospital. And it took all but forever for Puffy to send his family some money. You know what I'm saying? But I see a lot of those examples of rappers dying penniless, broke. But at the beginning of their career, when they had all this money, they could have just invested it off the top, just not even look at their first couple of $1 million. Don't look at it. Just invest.
Right. It's like you say, I was always taught you put away a certain percentage regardless. You can do whatever you need to with some of it, but always stash some away, because too many times we do hear about people in the entertainment industry or not just music, but in acting and stage plays and all those that end up dying penniless. But I do want to play the devil's advocate just a little bit. And because I'm being a little devil's advocate, I'm going to ask you, Minister Connie. Now, listen, there is such a culture in these strip clubs where, you've got several different aspects, but one of them is the music. So when we hear that these artists are going in there, if their music is played, that tends to blow up in the world, and that kind of explodes out into the world. Do you see this as a strategy, or do you see this as just an excuse to get more image than more money?
I believe it's for the money. That's why they do it. Like the one rapper said, he said he didn't go into a strip club for 3 years because they was, making it rain and he had to perform according to his song that he put out there. So therefore he did something smart. He stayed away because he knew it was just draining him and he was giving all that money away. And then when I seen that $1 million that was on the floor, I was like, oh my God, I wish I was there to pick up some of that money. But
Lord,
my
had to be a
my
vacuum.
thing, my thing is for me to economic empowerment giving. Like one of the things that I do, I sew, it's in my book. I sew, I save, I spend. And so those are the things that I do. So spending is last on my list because I'm setting up a legacy for my family because I believe that we are to leave them a heritage. And you can't leave a heritage throwing it away like that. Even on buying just things that you don't even need. I'm starting to be a little bit more cautious on what I'm spending my money on. But what's important is that I sat down and this is important, giving to St. Jude Hospital every month, a certain amount, giving to Feeding America a certain amount every month. Um, the Blessing Foundation, we're building a hospital in Uganda right now. We need $300,000. That's why I said I wish I was there. I would have picked up that money and sewed it for that hospital to be built.
So there's so many other things that we can do. And unfortunately, it just seems like a lot of the times we are always trying to live up to an image that's almost impossible because there's a chain that comes around you on your neck if you don't get the education and the business that you need. I'm actually going to throw in, once again, another entertainer who is actually not doing this type of thing. So you're looking at Beyonce. She's making all of her money. She's making big money. I'm not a BHAF person, but I can say that I admire the fact that this girl's out here hustling. She gives you a show. She's coming down in cars, and she does turn around and sew it in different ways. You don't hear her, or I don't know about Jay-Z because I know what he was before, but I don't know what he is now. Who do manage your money well, who put it back into it. You see Jay-Z trying to buy football teams and everything else. So, they want to rise above what just that regular image is. And I think that needs to be more common than anything. Ain't nothing wrong with getting your foot in the door. It's just what you can do with it afterwards. But I do want to check out a couple of stats because, we always lax our stats. I do because, it kind of solidifies what we're talking about. And I'm loving these comments. Keep them coming. I am going to tackle some of those when we look at these stats, and then we will continue the conversation. The cost of lavish living. According to a 2022 report by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American spends $3,000 to $5,000 per year on non-essential luxuries, while high-income earners often spend even more on their lifestyle choices. Wow, that's a lot. And I see it every day with the pocketbooks and the Jimmy Choo shoes and things of that nature. A 2023 study by Music Business Worldwide found that many hip hop artists make up to 70% of their income from endorsements, luxury brand deals, and public appearances, sometimes leading to higher than average spending on luxury items and experiences. I want to stop right there. I know we have other stats, but I do want to tackle this because this is directly things that I see, especially in the Hollywood industry. A lot of the times, if you're in music, the music isn't what really pays you. The company gets that. Spotify gets that. all these places that give you pennies on your spends. So we look at Snoop. Snoop has his hand in absolutely everything. We know that Snoop has money banked, but you have to almost do things like endorsements. Now, in this case, Jermaine, I don't see him hawking no alcohol or anything. Yolanda, how can, if they're going to live this kind of lifestyle, how would you suggest to them to partner where they still can build their wealth by still kind of showing a little bit of this flauntiness?
Flaunt fake money. You know what? Fake it. Because girl, I have a friend in Mississippi. He's like trying to do music, right? And I saw this video that he did with the guys down there, and they had all his money just in the video, just. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all that money. He was like, oh yeah, that was fake. It was prop money. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like prop money.
You do that. Well, I don't know if you can throw the fakes at the girls at the club, but I think that's a good idea. Because you've actually heard people come out and say, this chain, this watch, this ain't real. It looks real. He's
right,
about
exactly.
Amazon, right? So yes, they can.
Just fake it.
Yeah.
Fake it. But you know what, Lala, too? I feel that as human beings on earth, okay, we can do whatever we want. If you have the money, do whatever you want with your money. Mm-hmm. But remember the consequences of your actions, okay? And if I were these rappers and I had that lustful spirit, okay, of just wanting things and pleasure, I would just invest my money up front. Like I said, when I first get that first million or those first millions, I'll invest all that in something so I can just act as if it's not even there. And then I'll just toss the rest up if that's what I choose to do, so that I can have a safety net to fall back on.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. That's if I had that lustful, but I don't have that lustful spirit. I never did, because while my friends was out buying bags and stuff, I was in college, like studying. I paid for my college out of my own pockets. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it paid off now, because now I'm looking at everybody. Now I'm able to do what I want to do now.
Because you're smart. But we're gonna continue to talk about that because there's still more aspects to it. So let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
We actually have some really fantastic comments that I really don't want to continue until we actually talk about them. Like I think a lot of people have some great points. Deborah says that the entertainment industry needs a financial education put in place for them all. I have always said that, your manager or somebody should be putting you through, because at some point you do have other people to do your jobs. However, if you ain't watching over them, they could be doing things as well with your money. And Armando reminded us, love you. Blackout Friday, baby. Blackout Friday. We not spending nothing. Word, they don't want our money. So we are really putting a dent in things. So make sure that you are Marlo, I know you want it. I am too. So yes, thank you for the beautiful reminder. Cloud Bob said that's not a flex, JB. Talking about spending all that money at a club. Maria said she hasn't heard about Beyonce giving back. She may not. A lot of times people of that clout, and like Prince did the same thing. He never announced what he put money toward. It wasn't until after he passed away that all the people stepped up and said, oh, he came to help us. I'm not saying she did or didn't, but I do know she's setting up them babies, because her babies are performing. They're on records. They're everything. So she is at least setting up for her children. Anonymous says Jay-Z is a sellout. Well, it depends on who you talk to. Mackie says former NFL QB Cam Newton told Fox Sports that he would spend $10,000 to $15,000 out to complete. Oh, he would spend more than other people. I'm sorry, I read that crazy. Just to outcompete them at the club. Oh, horrible. Family Biz says they admire Beyonce. Yes, I do admire her business. I didn't say you heard me say I'm not part of the Beehive. Now listen, I have to agree with Anonymous on this. Because you guys really need to read a book called The Millionaire Next Door. You don't have to flaunt shit. I've never seen Bill Gates wear a Gucci belt. He made a pretty good point. Minister Connie, what do you think about that? Bill Gates and all his glory and all his behind the scenes, you never really see him out flaunting. You don't see them on that level. What do you think about that?
No, you don't. You see him doing other things, trying to get rid of the population. For real. So yeah, he's not. That's what he's putting his money to. But the thing is that it's okay if you have your things right. It's okay to go out and buy some nice things, because I love me a good purse. I love me a good pair of Gucci shoes. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not going to take away from my savings. Once again, I tithe, I sow, I save, and I spend. My spending is last. All those things are in order. My house is paid off. So I can do those things now, So I have an heritage and money put away for my grandkids and their kids. So I'm doing the right thing. So it's okay to do that. Just have your mindset right, and just do the right thing with your money. You can't tell nobody how to spend their money, but be educated. If you don't know anything, if you never was taught, I wasn't taught, you go out there and get it for yourself. Get the desire that you want to do better than your former generation of people did. That's all you got to do.
There's another one of our beautiful hosts on our show says, Google that shit. You can learn just by looking at. Listen, ask ChatGPT. It will tell you. It will tell you what you need to know. Okay. But we're going to check out another video, because there's another aspect that we can dig into here. Let's check this video out, and we'll be right back.
I'm not like super stupid with money, but it's a lot of big things that I bought that I wish I wouldn't have bought. Such as like a Bentley. Okay. Like cash. I just wanted to do that. Go to the lot, just buy the shit like instantly, not have no note, not pay for nothing. And I wanted it to be like years ahead of the year that it was. I think like after all of the taxes, the tent, the rims, all of the stuff I got to it, it came to like $275 or something like that. It just was a waste of money. You know what I'm saying? I could have did a lot more stuff with that paper. Cash. And rode in the same car. Like the information I got, could have rode in that same car for even more years than I had that car. Rode in the same car, took a lot more money, flipped it and invested it. Could have turned that same money into more Bentleys. But, I just was uninformed. Thinking, I could just grab, let me go grab.
I think that, here's what I love, is that I actually love seeing people actually now coming out and telling their truth. Like we all saw Ocho Cinco come out and say that he wears fake jewelry, and CG came up and said that too. He said there's nothing he can wear that would be more recognizable than him. So he knows that his image is there, but he doesn't have to, like you said, Yolanda, fake it. So with all of these people now coming out and saying these things, Yolanda, do you think that those who are coming up now have the ears to hear so that they can be a little more smarter with how they spend?
Yes, I do. I think
that's going to resonate with them.
Yeah, I really think that the younger generation is a little bit better with money. I have seen a change in how the younger generation looks at money within the last, I would say, 15 years. You know, they're respecting money a little bit more, and they're trying to see how money can work for them a little bit more. I don't see a lot of frivolous spending. Yes, I do see people out there flossing and living in the high life. Yes, but they also know the reality. And I'm talking about just the young people outside the bubble of celebrity world. They know the reality of money. They know that they don't have that money like those celebrities. So they're trying to figure out, well, how can I have this money? How can I build money? How can I let money work for me? It's not, I think those celebrities there are living in some type of bubble of some sorts. And also, Lala, we have to understand that they are put there in place to show ignorance and degradation so that they can try to influence other people. But other people are waking up. They're like, nah. If I had a bag, this is what I would do. I'm gonna get, I see like young people on TikTok, for instance. Oh, if I had a bag, I'm starting a business. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, So they're looking at how to flip money and how to let money work for them.
I agree with that. So that actually tags on to my next question. And I'm going to throw this one to you, Minister Connie. How can we celebrate our successes without falling into the trap of overspending and showing off wealth?
You know what? I have a Bentley. So therefore, you know what? The Lord makes you rich and add no sorrows. That's Proverbs 10:22. But he will give you the desires of your heart. My house was presented to me. I had met this realtor and I told her the kind of house I wanted. When she walked in this house, she said, "This is Connie's house." The Lord put that on our heart. Now, when we walked in there, we couldn't afford it, but we bought it. Okay. The Bentley was presented to me. I wasn't even looking for it. It was on my dream board. Wasn't looking for it. All of a sudden it was there. But I have principles in place. I sow. First I tithe, I sow, and I put a name on whatever I'm sowing into. I save, and I spend. My spending is last. But when you really have the right desires in your heart and you're doing the right things with your money, those things will come to you. You don't have to chase it. And that has been me. I didn't have to chase it. Everything was presented. They came and found me. So, like I said, my book says that the Lord, the Lord makes you rich and add no sorrows. And it's the truth. It is. Everything I have, the Lord just presented itself. It was like, okay, I walked right into it. So, yeah.
I never have said, I mean, you know how people put people in boxes. Just because someone is wealthy doesn't necessarily mean they're not a good person. Just because someone is poor, you think they're poor. I had a perfect example with a gentleman who came in to buy a house from me in Los Angeles. And when he walked in, y'all, he was in these raggedy clothes. He was unshaved. He, he just looked like a little country bumpkin, and he talked like a country bumpkin. My man came in and said he was ready to buy his house. I sat down, didn't treat him any different than anyone else. And then I said, "Well, do you already have a lender that you would like to work with?" "No, ma'am, I will be buying with cash." So what you can't just go off of perception of what people look like or act like. Same thing. My husband sell pianos, and the guy walked in off the street, you wouldn't even know he wasn't homeless. Had that piano band, baby grand piano delivered up to his $1 million mansion, but he lived simple and he only spent on things that gave him joy and the things that gave back. So there's nothing wrong with having money. What we're discussing today is how is it that we don't have to show off and waste, and also be mindful of not just ourselves and our children and our future generations. And I think that's where a lot of these comments are kind of going a little left, because we're not bashing anybody for what they're doing. What we see is there's just something not there that's not teaching the lessons that need to be taught for the next generation. And so many of us, I wasn't taught about that. I wasn't taught about how to invest in things like that. I did what Constance said. I Googled that shit. And some things you just have to learn for yourself, and then take responsibility for what you're putting back into the world. And with that, I think we're going to take another commercial, and we're going to come back and have some more conversations.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
You know what I'm going to say, because I say it every time I'm the host. I get excited, and I get so excited about this part. Listen, I am looking for you. I'm looking for Black businesses and Black services, because I'm going to put my money where it's going to be appreciated. And if you are looking for clients, you got to be found. Now, you can do that by sending in all of your information about your business and your services, and your name, the business name, email, a website, bio, phone number, everything. Send it to us at info@realvirtual.net. We're going to dive right back into this conversation. I want to hit a couple of comments before we hit the next video. QJ says, we need to learn like Rihanna. While Beyonce is still on tour in her 40s, Rihanna has been semi-retired since her 20s. That's very, very interesting. I don't know the story behind that. Maybe B just likes to perform. I don't know. But Riri, she decides when she's going to do something, and then she doesn't. And now she's living the life that she wanted to with her babies. And I love that for her. Q also said Kanye became a billionaire off of ownership. He owned his brand and owned stock in Nike and Adidas, as well as his wife's Skims brand. Love him or hate him, can't be mad about him building some money, right? C. White says younger people have a lot more information now to learn how to invest. Jermaine Dupri, I don't think he had that information. Yolanda, I need to ask you this with kind of a rapid answer, please, because I do want to get into this last video, but that is a really good thing to talk about. Now, Steve is saying that, these kids have the information, whereas I'm 55, Jermaine and them are about the same age as me, and I told you, I didn't have anyone teaching me this. Do you think that those in my age bracket probably missed out on this opportunity, and we just didn't really quite learn the value of the money? Can't hear you.
So sorry. Yes, for us regular folk, yes. But Jermaine Dupri comes from opulence and wealth. Okay, his father was wealthy, so he's seen wealth and he threw away his wealth. So it's not. So he knew better. He knew better. Okay, but for us regular folk, we were not taught finances. We were not taught. We're just now within the last 10 to 15 years learning about investing. I have to thank Dr. Boyce Watkins for that, because he was like one of the first people that I've seen on the internet, like talking about investing money and starting businesses and things like that when it was not popular. Now it's popular. Everybody's talking about it. But he was the first one to really come out and say those things and do it, So Yeah, we didn't have the tools, us regular kids, but Jermaine Dupri did.
Okay, and but you know what? Oh no, let us get into this next video. This is just so good. This is so good. I have so many questions to share with you, ladies, and ask and get educated myself. Let's check out this next video.
When you say you was broke, was you at like $0 broke?
I like had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
Wow.
Yeah.
After having, what's the most you ever had in the bank at one time?
40 million.
Jesus Christ. How do you have a hairline? My God.
Yeah.
$40 million to zero?
Yeah.
And it was just all bad spending? No bad investments? Like, what was it?
It was a lot of bad investments. A lot of things.
What did you invest in that didn't work for $40 million? What were you investing in?
Real estate.
Real estate?
Yeah.
Shoot. You buy retail?
No, but I was letting my manager do it, and he was way more optimistic than I was.
So what do you mean optimistic?
Like he would just buy complete dumps and think that we can just paint, and then
he didn't know what he was doing.
Never sold anything that we bought.
Is there anything if you'd have held on to would be worth a lot now?
No, not at all.
My
These were in
God.
terrible neighborhoods, but I didn't know.
Where? In Florida?
Yeah, it was all in Florida, South Florida.
Y'all, can I just say that Jermaine Dupri is not broke? Can I just say that he's not broke? Jermaine Dupri, everybody is not broke. I'm just saying he gave away some of his generational wealth, but he's like MC Hammer, broke. Yeah. Lala got it.
But listen, talking about like good job, because you know what he said, that he went from 40 million to zero, but he had a smart manager, someone who was really looking out for him, right? And so he did all of this stuff. So Minister Connie, how important is it for us to surround ourselves with people like Dr. Boyce Watkins and also good business people around us when we may not be so educated, where they can help us where we fall down?
Well, a long time ago when I started, Dr. Boyce wasn't around. So I had to go and, you know what? This is what made me do it. Homelessness. I was out in the street. I had to move in to an abandoned house. It's in my book. Lord, I hear you. And that's when my journey started. And this has been over 35 years ago. So yeah, when it wasn't even popular. So, you know, you can get on your last dollar and be in the streets, because I didn't have a job or anything. I closed down my business that wasn't working and decided that I was going to go look for a job. And the lady evicted me when I paid her rent. She wanted her house back. She wanted to move in it. So here I am. I had to move in an abandoned house. Thank God that a house was abandoned and it was in our family. It was my son's grandmother's house. And I was able, and it was just sitting there. I said, well, I'm going to move in there. And that's what I did. So you will really wake up when you go from living in a nice community to go and live in the hood in an abandoned house. So, but I made it work. You know, it's all in my book. Lord, I hear you.
See, and you know, Deborah said just because you have a manager doesn't mean that they know everything. I agree, because Deborah, there's also stories where managers took everybody's money. Look at
Yes.
especially some of the earlier artists who thought they were making all this money, but them managers and them studio peoples and them record executives decided that they needed a little bit more than what the artist was making. So no, that's not always the case. But I also truly, truly believe in mastermind, to surround yourself by those who think like you, who work like you. And you should never, ever, ever be the smartest one in your mastermind. If you need 2 or 3 masterminds, you need to be right in the middle so that someone above can help you and you can turn around and help someone else under you. So I'm with you, Deborah, on that. You do have to be very careful about who you surround yourself with. But I'm also a very firm believer in masterminds. Let's hit the last 2 stats that we have, because I don't want to miss out on those. They're very important. And then we're going to hit one more video before our final thoughts. So you kind of have a lineup of what we're going to do. A 2022 survey by the Federal Reserve reported that Black families have 10 times less wealth than white families, with many spending on lifestyle rather than investment. This has led to lower rates of wealth accumulation for future generations. Wow, y'all. Wow. Now listen, you always hear, and my father-in-law always said, and I didn't listen to him. There's just some things you like, I don't know if I could do it. My father-in-law was very, very excellent in real estate. He's one of the people who I admire for what he has done. And one of the things he told me is, sweetheart, I said like him, sweetheart, you must learn to play golf. And I was like, I don't want to. But 90% of the deals that he made was surrounding himself by people with money on the golf course and networking. So yes, it also was an expensive sport. So he was still flossing, but he was also still learning. Now, Yolanda, do you think that that is still the case today? Because that's kind of old school advice, but I still see it together. And is the strip club now the new golf course? Can't hear you.
No, the strip club is still the strip club. That is it. Okay. It's still the strip club. It's still you giving away your generational wealth. The golf club, it can be a place of networking and exchange, you know. But right now, in this day and age, because we live in such a digital world, I don't see that, like, the kids don't have to go on a golf course anymore. They can just open YouTube and get all the tools that they need from YouTube. YouTube is a very good source of receiving information. So yeah, they don't need the golf course anymore. Yeah, I saw a comment though, Lala, of somebody saying we have to learn from people that we don't like, and that is absolutely true, because I've learned from a lot of everybody know I don't like corporate America so much unless they pay you know an endorsement or something. But I did appreciate the fact that I was there because I learned so much. If it wasn't for corporate America, I would not have built my business. If it wasn't for me sitting in those places, my business would not have been built, because I've learned exactly from sitting in those spaces. So right. Yes, you do learn from things and people that you do not like.
Yes. And usually those are the best teachers.
They
now,
are.
Q also said, but Q, I think you came in late, baby. You came in late. He asked us, how do you think strippers feel about people trying to stop their money? We didn't say that. We said that most of them probably the ones walking out of there with generational wealth and acres upon acres. We ain't mad at them for what they do. None at all.
Go girls. Go girls.
What to do. Listen, girl, whatever you do is what you do. As long as you ain't hurting nobody, I'm okay with that. Yeah. So let's check out this last video and then we'll get back into the conversation.
Who ride jets, most of them be broken in. I never ride a fucking jet. That shit so fucking high. You know what I get with $40,000? My back end ain't nothing but 35. Like I'm doing the show for free. Jet 38, back end 35. Well, I got an after party though, so I'm gonna make a little money. Nah, they ain't taxing. That's how much a jet is. They ain't taxing. From San Diego to Daytona Beach, that's halfway across the world. Now you know what them be spending. That is 40,000. From coast to coast, you paying 40,000. 5-hour flight, you paying 40,000. Them fucking jets be high as a I'm the highest member at Delta. They ain't had no flights to get me there in time. 38,000 now. San Diego to Daytona Beach. Last time I rode a jet, I took my family to Jamaica. And I rode that jet free. That was John Paul Pierre jet.
Listen, I love how he came at us telling us exactly what he does and telling the truth about, you know, some of the things that are people doing. And as we have actually said, if that's what you want in your life, a private jet, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. We're trying to let you understand that money is not the only thing that causes wealth. Quality of life also has a lot to do with wealth. Your body, mind, and spirit, as well as financial, is a part of wealth. Just trying to help you keep a little more money in your pocket so that you can also help somebody else or your own family. So, with that being said, I'm actually going to start winding down. Yolanda, Bootsy said a lot in that video, and if there is one thing that you can learn from what he said, would you share that with us and maybe expound on that, and then tell us where we can find you?
Yes. Boosie did say something that was very important. Yeah, he flew a private jet, but it was on somebody else's dime. Okay. One thing I like about Boosie is that he has a family compound, and he has the big house, but he has other little houses on the compound that belong to his children. I thought that was so amazing. I love his money mindset. And when I think about money, money is energy. Energy, how you present yourself to the world, is a mindset. So if your mindset is in the gutter, I'm pretty sure that your money is in the gutter too. You know, money's currency, so it flows to us. It flows away from us. Um, so if you respect money, money will respect you. Money is here to serve us, you know. So however you want money to serve you, let it serve you. I believe that we're human beings on this earth. We should have whatever we want on this earth within reason, of course. But you also have to be smart. Be smart with your money. And one thing I want to say before I tell you where you can find me is to abandon celebrities. Really, abandon celebrity culture, because that culture is sending people to bankruptcy, to an early grave, to just a degraded, just a foul life. Abandon celebrities. Period. You can find me at www.mwhitney.com. My name is Yolanda Spivey. I am the broker to the stars, some stars, and just call me, follow me. Yeah.
Yeah, do all the things because she can help guide you with the insurance world. And y'all, believe me, there is power in insurance. A lot of people see insurance as like, oh, I don't really need that. But baby, there are many things that you could do with insurance. So don't sleep on that. Make sure you reach out to Yolanda, and I'm sure that she can advise you on what you can do to help build your wealth as well. Minister Connie, I have a different question for you. And it is, can you please tell us what financial advice you would give to young people who are actually looking up to these celebrities and Jermaine Dupri?
First, I want to say, Yolanda, I like what you said. That was very powerful, where your money is, So, therefore, I think a lot of it is mindset. So, set your mind on things that is going to leave a legacy. If you have children, also, the first thing I did when I bought a property, I bought a duplex. I lived on one side and the other side paid my mortgage. So that is one of the advice I could give. Buy a duplex or a fourplex. You can live in it and then it pays you. So that's very, very important. I have done that. And so that's how I got started. And I also bought an insurance policy years ago. It's not for the dead, it's for the living. I want to say that. I borrowed like $40,000 for my insurance policy. I had built up cash, and I took a house, remodeled it. We just rented it out last month. So now we're going to the money that I'm getting back off of that. I'm gonna keep some in my pocket, and I'm gonna pay back that loan. So those are some financial things that you could do. There are so many things that you can learn anymore. It's just unbelievable. But I'm so glad all this stuff is available because it will teach you how to do with your money. But once again, I want to say tithe, sow, save, and spend. Not I put that model in about 30 years ago, and it really has paid off because the thing is that when you sow, you get it back. You know, it leaves your hand, but not your life. And so that's what I said. My house found me, my car found me, all those things found me. I didn't have to run after it. It found me because the Lord will give you the desires of your heart. Get my book, Lord, I Hear You, by Minister Connie Spearman, is also a journey with that. You can find me at conniespearman.com.
I absolutely love that. Please go read her book. Minister Guy always has some great advice and always comes with receipts with what has happened in her life. So you know that book is good. You want to make sure you go check out that book. And here's my final thought. Listen, everything is okay as long as it's in balance. Just imagine what it would have been if Jermaine would have actually put that money into the club and not just necessarily on the floor of the club. There are ways to look at everything. And you can find good and investment in everything that you do. It's okay to sometimes to go out and just blow bubbles like I do. Listen, sometimes I just spend a little dollar and sit on my porch and blow bubbles for everybody to smile at. But you also have to understand that you have to save for a rainy day. You really do, because you never know what is going to come at you. So why not sow into your future as well as other people's future? And you don't always have to be so loud about it, right? So listen, if you're interested in building your wealth with real estate, because that is what I do, that is my basis. Not only sing, I'll sing you a song. I'll sing you a song when you move into the house I help you close. It ain't above me. I will do it, and I have done it before. So if you want a song and a house, go to www.laurakey.net. I have some really good courses and resources there for you about real estate, building your credit, and things of that nature. So please go to www.laurakey.net and then go ahead and pick out your song, baby, so I can hand you a key and a song. This was a very wonderful show. I think we touched on a lot of things. I loved all the comments that we had today. You know, I always like to call out people: Black Lexicon, Q, Leroy, Anonymous, Dr. Vibe, Tamisha, Double A. We had so many people that come in. Diamond Net came in today. New name. Thanks for coming. Deborah is here today. We appreciate you so much. Yes, we do. Because without you, we wouldn't have a show. So we are grateful. So don't forget to tune in Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we are live. And you always can learn something here. Go to all the resources. Thank you for joining us. Jermaine Dupri's Confession About Spending Habits offers a very unique look into the culture of hip hop and how it relates to financial responsibility. While it's important to celebrate success, it's also crucial that we learn from these stories and start focusing on long-term financial sustainability. Let's shift the conversation from materialism to wealth building for our future. So until next time, keep building, stay smart with your money, and remember, true wealth isn't about what you show off, but what you build for yourself and your family. Have a great weekend, y'all. Peace out. Bye.